Hey everybody, welcome. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today because earlier this week, about a week ago, we opened up registration for Draw Week and I've been getting a lot of questions. So I wanted to do a live session just to basically go through the information about Draw Week that you need to know. If you're on the fence, unsure whether it's something that you'd be interested in, then I basically want to clear up all of those questions in this session. And also, not just that, I want to show you guys some of my very first beginner drawings because I know that at the start of a new year, you might be thinking, okay, I want to spend some time drawing. I want to learn to draw, but you might be getting those sort of feelings like, okay, am I good enough? And I thought I'd give you a bit of dose of inspiration here and motivation by showing you some of my early drawings because they weren't anything special, and show you where I came from and my drawing transformation to hopefully inspire you that you can do it too, and share why Draw Week is a great way to start your drawing journey this year in 2025. Okay, I'm seeing lots of comments coming in. Hello, everybody that's joining me live. Marianne, I can see. We've got some Christy, got lots of comments here. So thank you guys for joining, and I'll get around to answering any questions that you have about Draw Week in a minute. So first of all, I just want to share my beginner drawings. As you can see, I didn't start out being an amazing realistic pencil artist. And I think that's a common misconception, thinking that if someone's good at drawing, then that they were always great at drawing. But that isn't the case. Drawing, just like anything, is a learned skill. You might have a bit of talent for it, like observation comes easier to you, but for the most part, we don't all just know how to draw realistically. It takes practice and it takes guidance and learning the right skills. So here you can see some of my very first drawings, and you can see they don't look very realistic. They don't look bad or anything, but you can tell that they are a sort of beginner standard. And these were actually from about 10 years ago, just before I sort of started on YouTube and teaching online. There were a few years before that. And actually, it was about that time, sort of about 12 years ago, that I really focused on drawing and started learning all of these things. And I can't believe that actually today, it's my 10-year anniversary on YouTube and starting to teach online. It's been an amazing 10 years. And I'm so grateful to have been able to help so many thousands of artists and millions on YouTube improve their drawings. And I feel like it's really important to show these beginner drawings and to show all the mistakes, because everyone starts with drawings like these. And it can be really discouraging when you just see people when they're really good at drawing and just see their sort of like after, you don't get to see that before. And it can be discouraging because it can feel like you're so far away from meeting that level. I want to say hi to Glenn, hi Clara. Thank you all for joining. And so, yes, so you can see that these are my beginner drawings, but now look at the drawings that I can do now. You can see there's such a massive difference, and there's a journey there. We all go on our own journey. And I actually had to sort of figure this out the hard way through a lot of trial and error and practicing and making mistakes. And over the years that I've been teaching students, I've sort of figured out the system of the few key things to really master that make the biggest difference with realistic drawing. Because what I found with myself, with my beginner drawings, is that I was practicing and I was drawing lots and lots, but they were still coming out the same. And it's because I didn't know what to work on. I didn't know where to start. I didn't really understand why my drawings weren't looking realistic. And it can be hard to figure it out on your own without guidance from someone that's already done it and someone that's ahead of basically where you want to be. So when I was a beginner and I was new to drawing, I felt excited. I loved drawing, and it was fun and it was relaxing, and I always wanted to draw more and more. But it was also kind of frustrating because you can feel like your drawings aren't improving or where you want them to be, and you don't know why. And you might have a vision in your head of how you want it to look. And quite often when we're starting out, it doesn't look like that when we're actually drawing it. So it can be a bit frustrating, and it can make us doubt whether we are good enough to be an artist. But trust me, you definitely are. And also, I found, I don't know if any of you guys felt this, but I definitely avoided drawing certain things that was intimidating to me. Things like hands or certain clothing textures and patterns, like a checkered pattern or a tartan print or like knitted scarves or anything like that. I would avoid them because they were just too challenging and too scary. But as I learned more and as I improved my skills, these feelings started to go away. Not completely, you're never going to feel frustrated, but you feel more confident and you feel like you're ready to tackle those more challenging drawings. Okay, so basically, I want to share the 3 mistakes that I made, the biggest 3 mistakes, and the 3 skills that I learned that fix those mistakes, that took my drawings from those beginner-looking drawings to these drawings that you see here that are much more realistic, of much more challenging subjects. And hopefully these skills will give you some things to think about and some tips to help you improve your drawings. Gives you a bit of focus and direction on what you can do next to improve your drawings. And if your drawings are looking more like my beginner ones, then these tips are definitely for you. Okay, so I want to break down this drawing here. So this drawing was a very, very early drawing I did of my now husband. This was when we were first going out about 13 years ago. And you can see that we've got some wonky proportions. The shading isn't that great, but it's a start. It was my first attempt at drawing these more challenging subjects. And there was 3 things, particularly with the shading, that made this drawing look flat and lack realism. So let me know in the comment section any of your guesses. What do you think the 3 mistakes that I made with this drawing are? So let me know. And I'm going to go through the first one, which is actually that the shading is just way too light. So if we go here, where I'm pointing, can you see how light that shading is? Nowhere on this drawing have I got any really dark tones or shadows. Everything is actually quite light. And that is, I would say, the #1 biggest mistake that you can make when drawing. I see a lot of you writing contrast, not dark enough, from Ron and Mariana. I would say contrast, yeah. Karen saying values, depth, not dark enough. We got Stephanie, too many mids, not enough contrast. Yes, and proportion of the nose. Yes, I definitely got that one a little bit off. We've got Pete saying some dark outlines. Clara saying outlines as well, too pronounced. Okay, you guys are good. Yes, you're getting these. So yeah, first of all is light shading. So beginners, when we're a beginner, it's very, very common to not go dark enough with our shading because it's kind of scary. I know that as a beginner, I was scared. I would do my shading light and I'd kind of be like, yeah, that's looking good. But it's scary to go in with darker pencils or apply more pressure. It can be scary thinking that you're going to ruin the whole thing. Or maybe you just think you have gone dark enough and you don't realize that you do need to go darker. But yeah, if you go back to my beginner drawings and just look at all of these, you can see how much lighter they all are. And even that colored pencil one, it's all quite light compared to my drawings now. You can just see it like hits you how much more they pop because we've got some really rich dark tones. And then the second thing, you guys guessed it, is outlines. Because my shading was too light, I had to try and create some definition somehow. So it's very common as beginners to try and create that definition by adding an outline. And here I kind of went to town with outlines. I've kind of added them everywhere around the side of the nose. If I point, you can see around the side of the nose. I've got lots of outlines around the cheek here for all of the folds of the clothes and the arms. And I've only done that because I've not been using my shading to create those boundaries and that separation. So I've just been using outlines. And when you use outlines on a drawing, it just automatically makes it look more cartoony and it just flattens out that drawing. So that is the third mistake that I made. And I mean, the second mistake that I made. And then the third mistake that I made is doing very messy strokes and messy blending. Can you see that some of the blending looks a bit smudgy and a bit too airbrushed in certain places, like around the folds of the clothing, around the cheeks? It all kind of looks a bit too smooth. But also messy at the same time. So some of the blending is too smooth, but when you look at the details in the hair, you can see that I've kind of just gone in with my pencil, doing these sort of back and forth motions. I've not been particularly, cautious with it. I've just been messy. I've not really been taking my time. I've been rushing through it. And this is common as well, especially when filling in backgrounds or shading in the hair to just sort of do these lines. And it can end up making the drawing look flat. We can't see the 3D shapes of the hair or forms. It just looks like loads of lines. And that's when you can start to get spaghetti hair or just hair that doesn't really look like it has volume to it. Again, just looking at you guys' comments. Chrissy said, oh, the shading is so bright, my eyes hurt. Yes, it is very light. David said, going dark is off-putting as it seems too final and difficult to manipulate. Yes, definitely. It's one of those things where it can feel very, very final, and a lot of the time that's because you've already poured time into a drawing. And that's why actually I like to get in the darkest values and darkest shading first, because I definitely agree with David there. It can feel very off-putting and too final and kind of scary when you've like maybe poured 5 hours into shading a drawing, or even just like even half an hour or an hour. It can feel like, oh, I've put some time into this. If I go darker, I might ruin all of the work that I've already done. And I actually like to start off shading in the darkest areas first so that I can see the white of the paper and then my darkest value, and then it helps me judge all of the values in between. But more on that in a minute. And so what I would say is, as beginners, we all have those same sort of mistakes. We all tend to do our shading too light, or we add some outlines, or our shading's a little bit messy. These are common mistakes. And so learning to draw isn't really just about having this talent or being good enough. Anyone can learn to draw, because the things that you need to improve are just a few skills that you can learn. And once you understand the things that make a drawing look realistic and you start to work on improving those things, that's when you really start to see the biggest difference. As soon as I started to shade darker and fix my outlines and shade a bit more carefully, the realism just suddenly poured into my drawings. It was really, really great. So the first thing I want to talk about now is value. So value is basically how light or dark our shading is. And what you saw with my beginner drawings, and here I've got a few other students' drawings that are more beginner level, you can see that we tend to have the lighter areas of the value scale. We have some light shading and then maybe some midtones. You can see on my value scale, I've labeled this thing called midtone crisis. And that's basically what I call it when you just get in your light shading or your midtones, but you don't quite reach those really dark tones. But if you look at the sphere, can you see that the shading there is too light? And so it looks flat. It doesn't really pop. But if you look at the sphere next to it, where I've just added a few darker shadows, a few darker values for those shadow areas, just look at how much more it pops. Look at how much more 3D it looks. And I've even swatched some areas on these free references, and you can see that within a subject, we often cover the full value scale. We have light shading, we have mid-tone values and dark values, and it is super important that we get all of those values into a drawing for it to look realistic and pop. So that would be the first tip that I would have, is just practice going darker. Pick a drawing where you kind of don't have many expectations for it and it's purely for practice, and just have a go picking a darker pencil. So I actually like to use, I got it with me. So I actually love using this pencil here. It's the Faber-Castell matte graphite pencil, and it is a 14B pencil, and it's super dark. It's not really shiny, but this is a great pencil to have, or even an 8B, something like that, to practice getting in those darker values. Okay, the next thing I learned is this thing called edges. For realism, if we look at a person or an animal, they don't actually have outlines. There isn't any outlines in realism. So what you actually need to learn is how to shade the different values and shade using different edges to, instead of using outlines to define things, just using those change of values to create that separation and definition. And so edges is a skill I definitely recommend taking some time to learn about and to practice. And Draw Week, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, is a perfect way to start practicing and learning these skills that I'm going through. And of course, this is what I mean by the messy shading. I've got a few students' drawings here where they're doing the same sort of thing, just quickly shading in the background, shading in the face. And when you do your pencil strokes really far apart and you have gaps, that's when it starts to look streaky and messy. So instead, you want to do your shading quite smooth and overlapping and blend it in areas. I like using tissue to blend to get a smoother result. And so when you combine those things, when you learn about values, when you learn about edges, and when you learn how to shade using the sort of better techniques and blending to create these smooth textures, then you'll really start to see the realism come into your drawings. And so it only does take learning a few skills to go from this to this, from my more beginner drawing to my more realistic eye that you can see here. If you really look at it, it's just about going darker and learning how to eliminate those outlines and use edges, as well as a few things like learning how to blend and some different techniques for detail. And all of that I am going to teach inside Draw Week, and I'm super excited to talk about Draw Week now. So if you guys have any questions about Draw Week, just drop them in the chat, and I'm going to be looking at the chat now and answering any questions you have about Draw Week. But Draw Week is basically a 5-day live workshop that I'm hosting at the end of January the 27th to the 31st, where every day for 5 days I'm going to do a live class, and it's only $10 to join Draw Week. And over those 5 days, we're going to be creating 3 drawings together. So it's a perfect way to kickstart your drawing journey this year. If you're thinking, I want to spend a bit more time on my creativity, maybe drawing's been put on the back burner and you used to love drawing, but life gets busy and you haven't had time, or maybe it's something new that you want to try out and maybe you're just looking to make your drawings look more realistic this year. Whatever your reason, Draw Week is great if you're a beginner or if you're more advanced, just looking to improve your skills a little bit. So I've got Emily saying, I'm going to be at Draw Week, I'm so excited. Clara says, looking forward to drawing with you. Pete says, do you accept all major credit cards? Yes, we do. And you can pay with PayPal as well if you'd like. Okay, so I just want to go through what Draw Week actually is, because some of you may not know or heard me talk about Draw Week before. So this is my first live drawing event, and it is going to be a 5-day workshop from the 27th of January to the 31st of January. And every day we are going to meet live inside a private Facebook group. At 3 p.m. Eastern time will be when classes are. So we have students from all over the world do this. So just take that 3 p.m. Eastern time and go on Google and convert it to whatever time zone you are. I'm in the UK, so it's 8 p.m. for me, if anyone's in the UK and wants to know. But yeah, 3 p.m. US Eastern time. So UK 8 p.m. GMT time, but you can easily convert that time wherever you are. Just Google it. And we're going to complete 3 drawings. We're going to do 2 graphite drawings, one of an eye, one of a flower, and we're also going to do a bird in colored pencil. And so I'm actually going to show you now what we're going to do. So let me show you these drawings. Okay, so on day 1, we're going to do this eye. And with this eye, we're going to focus on really shading that value. So we're going to focus on getting dark. We're going to focus on getting all of these dark areas in first, as well as creating that texture. And for day 1, inside the workbook that you'll get for Draw Week, you will get the sketch traceable for this so that you can prepare the sketch ahead of time. So we'll just be shading this on day 1. Draw Week does come with a preparation lesson with all of the materials you'll need for Draw Week, as well as sketch traceables for the eye study and the bird study. We're going to draw the flower. We're going to sketch out the flower together on day 2. So that's what we're going to do on day 2. We're going to sketch the flower, and then day 3 we're going to shade the flower, and we're really going to focus on some more complex techniques for creating some detail and texture. And then on day 4 we're going to start to prepare our bird study. So I'm going to give you a class on how to pick the best colours for your drawing. We're going to create some beautiful colour gradients, and we're going to test our techniques. And then also on day 3, we will start our bird drawing. And on day 5, we will finish it. So by the end of those 5 days, you'll be like amazed at what we can do in 5 days. You'll have 3 drawings all done. These 3 lovely drawings. So I'm going to show you live how to draw all of these. I'm going to narrate these live for you and answer all your questions as we draw these. And that 5 live, a week of drawing for just $10. I wanted to make it super cheap so that if you're interested in realistic drawing, there's no obstacles. You can dive in for $10 for a complete week of coaching with me. And so yeah, if I go back, like I said, you'll get that preparation lesson so that you can pick your materials ahead of time and prepare your sketches for the 2 drawings. There's also replays available because I know that a lot of you are all over the world, so the times might not suit you, or you might be working or busy. So there will be replays available after each class that you can watch on demand, and they will all be available until the 4th of February so that you get a bit longer to watch those sessions and to follow along if you can't attend live. Also, you don't need to have Facebook to actually participate because I will send out the replays as on like direct links. So if you haven't got Facebook but you still want to participate in Draw Week, then you can. So Kanan says, is it 60-minute sessions? Each live lesson will be between an hour and a half and 2 hours long each day. Some will be shorter, some will be like an hour and a half, but some will be 2 hours. Yep, Christy, just $10. And I've had people ask, like, is that just $10? Is that $10 for like each day or what? And no, it's $10. That's it for the whole week. No hidden costs. That's it. If you want to participate in Draw Week, all it is $10. And then you'll have the chance to, if you want to continue, then you can join my drawing membership, the Level Up Art Club. But that's separate. Draw Week is just $10 for the 5 days of coaching. Okay, I'm going to look through your questions before I move on. I'm going to scroll up. Oh, I just want to mention that the reason why we're doing graphite and colored pencil is even if you're just interested in colored pencil, the thing is, it can be really tricky to dive into color and dealing with picking colors and all of that if you're not strong with just black and white drawing. So a lot of people are really excited to jump into drawing with colored pencil, and graphite might not be as exciting for you, but trust me, if you get to grips with just drawing in that sort of grayscale monochrome first, then when you jump into colored pencil, it's going to be so much easier because you'll have that idea of values, you'll have practiced that. And so it's hard to sort of juggle color and hue and value all at the same time. It's better just to get to grips with graphite, or even if you're just using a black colored pencil, it doesn't really matter. You can use that for Draw Week if you want, but it's more about just practicing value with just black and white and shading like that before adding color into the mix. Perel says, is there a supply list? Yes. So inside the preparation video lesson, basically when you join Draw Week, you will get access to a portal page. And on this portal page, we'll have everything you need. It will have the preparation lesson, which is a video where I go through all the materials you'll need, as well as how to transfer those sketch traceables onto your paper so that you can have everything prepared before Draw Week. And also you'll get a workbook, which also includes all of the materials as well. And also you don't need to have the exact same materials that I'm using. It really isn't that important. As long as you have some colored pencils as well, and have some graphite pencils and drawing paper and a couple of other tools like an electric eraser. And I do use a little craft knife. I don't know if I've got it next to me, but a little craft knife. Those are the only real things that I'm using, and it doesn't matter. You don't need a massive set of colored pencils or loads of graphite pencils. Really, you probably have what you need, and a lot of the things that you might need to get aren't that expensive anyway. Yep, I've seen a few of you asking about the replays. Yes, there will definitely be a replay, and it will get sent out straight after the live session finishes. So once I finish live, it will still be in the Facebook group anyway, because the live sessions will be held inside a private pop-up Facebook group. So you'll be able to watch them there, but I'll also send out a direct link so that you can watch it on a web page on demand whenever you want. But replays are available until the 4th of February. So you do have a little bit of extra time as well to watch the workshop if you can't basically attend all of the live lessons. If you need a little bit more extra time, you've got till the 4th of Feb. And I want to let you know that if you do want to join Draw Week, there is a link in the description so that you can join, or you can just go to, got it here, you can go to kirstyparcher.com/draw-week. And that's where you can join. Just $10 to join. An electric eraser, I see Stephanie say with loads of question marks. Yes, so I will be using an electric eraser for some of my details, only really on the graphite drawings. You can use a stick eraser if you want, or even just, if you have like a normal eraser, you could just slice this to get a little more precise bit. It's really just for, I'll show you what we're using it for. So do you see the eye? Do you see some of these little lighter markings for the skin texture, and on the eyelid and on the basically the creases? So that's where I'm using the electric eraser, and for a couple of little details in the iris. So I'm using an electric eraser for that. And also within the flower drawing, there's just a couple of little areas as well, just a few little lighter details. You don't have to use the electric eraser. Don't let that be the thing that stops you, because really we're focusing on the shading. That's like just a little bit of extra detail and texture. You can get away with just using a normal eraser and cutting a little bit off as well. Stephanie says, I'll be signing up tomorrow. What's amazing is Draw Week has only been open a week, and we've already got over 1,000 people joining, and we've still got another 2 weeks to register. So it's going to be an amazing event with thousands of us drawing together and posting our versions of what we've created. It's going to be so much fun, and I'm so excited. Also, if any of you guys are already part of the Level Up Art Club, my drawing membership, then just a reminder that Draw Week is included for you, so you don't need to go and register separately. That's included in your membership. And I'll be sending out an email on the 17th of January so that you can access Draw Week. Okay, I'm just looking over the questions. Okay, I also just want to share, once again, here's the schedule. Day 1, we're doing the eye. Day 2, we're sketching out the flower. Day 3, we're shading the flower. Day 4, we're preparing our colour pencil drawing and starting it. And day 5, we're going to finish it. So look, 5 days, you're going to have 3 drawings. What an amazing way to kickstart 2025. All of that, just $10. You can click the link in the description to join. And I just want to share you a few things my students said about my last workshop, because I did a live workshop a couple of months ago inside my membership, the Leveler Park Club, and it's the same sort of live session that I'm going to be doing for Draw Week. So I did one here, and you can just see what my members said. Eva said, yay, just finished Kirsty's amazing workshop. I found it so incredible because I could easily follow along with her and create something I'm super proud of. I love the way she explained every step and made the workshop so easygoing and interactive. I really hope to do more of these in the future. I was amazed to see how time flew by so fast while I was drawing. That's always amazing to hear. And Jane said, below is my eye that I drew for the workshop. The class was fantastic. First time I've been able to pick up a pencil in a couple of years. It was an excellent push to get back into art. Thank you so much. I think my drawing looks better than the picture. I love that confidence, and I love that the workshops can be like this kind of thing that pushes you to get back to drawing, because I know that it can be so easy to put off our passions and our creativity and our hobbies, and just having something on your calendar, something that you've signed up to, that you've committed to, just gives you a reason to actually make that time to draw and make it happen. Even if you're watching the replays, still having that commitment is the thing that can keep you accountable. And just a couple more. Dorothy said, loved the class last night, learned so much, can't wait for the next one. And Dinah says, just did the eye replay as I was away for it. Loved doing it, loved the relaxed atmosphere, loved the time available to do the picture with questions answered in between. So that's one of the things as well, during Draw Week, whilst I'm drawing it and you're drawing along with me, you can actually ask questions in real time as you're drawing it. So if you're getting stuck and you have a question, then you can ask on the live stream and get help as well. And she also said, so excited about a week of these in January. Think a whole week of these, 2 hours a day just for $10. That's like the cost of a coffee and a cake for 5 days of drawing. And David says, here is my rendition from Kirsty's excellent workshop. And Leonie said, this was a fun one, gave it my best shot. So what's great is there'll be people of all skill levels in Draw Week. So if you're completely new to drawing, then it will be great for you, because I will be going through these drawings step by step. It's not a sped up thing or anything. You will be following along with me in real time as we draw along together and create these 3 drawings. And also, if you are a little bit more experienced, these can be the drawings where you learn a few more techniques and you start to work on those values. And it's just a real fun week. It's going to be so much fun. So just looking back over your questions, let me know if you guys have any more questions. Karen says, this is a good start to get back into drawing, as having not drawn for a while, need this as an incentive to get going again. Yes, definitely. Something like this is so great. And a lot of people, like with the workshops and classes, once you do one of them, your momentum will start, and then you'll be away on your drawing journey to creating more realistic drawings. Just sometimes it just takes having something to just sort of reignite that creativity and get you going again after maybe feeling a bit rusty, not drawing for a while. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap up. Just a reminder that Draw Week is happening on the 27th to the 31st of January. It is 5 days of drawing with me. We're going to draw live each day for 5 days and complete 3 drawings. Each day, the live will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will create 3 beautiful drawings together. It's going to help you create more realistic drawings and also get motivated to kickstart your drawing journey this year. You will get a preparation lesson and a workbook, so you'll have everything you need, as well as replays. So if you can't attend live, then that's fine. Oh, also, one thing I didn't mention is that we'll be doing daily prize giveaways. Yes, I'm really excited about this. Every day in Draw Week, we'll be giving away prizes so that you can upgrade your art supplies. So that will be really fun. If you join live, then each day we're going to be giving away prizes, and they're going to get bigger as each day goes on until day 5, where we'll have our grand prize, which will be a $500 gift card. I think it's going to be for Amazon to upgrade your art supplies. Not confirmed that yet, but basically it's going to be great, and there's going to be some people winning some great gift cards to upgrade to better art supplies. So that's just something that's going to make it even more fun. Okay, so once again, if you want to join Draw Week, the link is in the description, but if you can't access it for any reason, it's kirstypartridge.com/draw-week. And if you do have any questions, because you might have questions that come up, then message us. team@kirstypartridge.com. Our team will help you out. If you got any questions whatsoever, drop us a message, let us know. We will help you out to figure out whether Draw Week is for you. But I'm so excited to go through this journey with you. I hope that you can join me live for Draw Week. It's going to be an amazing time, super fun, only $10 for 5 days of drawing. I just think that's amazing, and I hope to see you there to kickstart your drawing journey, because anyone can learn to draw realistically, and you can too. Let me just go back to my beginner drawings. As you can see, nothing special. Maybe this is where you're at right now. Maybe you're a bit better than this, or maybe you're just starting out and you're not at this level yet. Whatever level you're at, it's fine. You can learn to draw realistically. You can create those drawings of your loved ones, of your pets that you want to hang on that wall or gift or even sell. You can do it. It just takes showing up, putting a bit of time aside, and having that guidance so that you're learning the right skills, because on your own it's not as fun, and it can be frustrating when you're trying to figure things out and you're not sure what to improve or what to learn or what tools to use and what techniques to use. It's just really difficult on your own. It takes time to learn, but it's faster if you have that guidance and you're practicing the skills that are really going to make that difference with your realism. So once again, those are my beginner drawings, and these are the drawings that I'm creating now. And it's not magic, it just takes learning these skills, which I am going to show you during Draw Week. So I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining me live, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care.